Okay, guys, hello, welcome. Thank you for that beautiful introduction and that beautiful presentation by Joan. Really, really lovely. I always love coming on to the Portal to Ascension portal because I can feel the frequency. I mean, guys, I started feeling the frequency this morning already. I can literally feel the vibration. I can literally feel the light, the activations, and everything that is going on beyond what we consciously are aware of seeing. So, how it works with me, I don't really generally prep much. The reason I don't do that is because there's so many different timelines that are consistently merging and anchoring into each other that I tend to kind of like go by fuels and then hop on and see, okay, this is what's needed, that's what's needed. This is what needs to be anchored at this moment in time on a collective level. So I will be doing some light language, but I want to really start by opening the space. So I just want everyone who's watching to just close their eyes and anchor into their heart centers. And I want you to just take a deep breath in. So we breathe in, breath of light. We hold, call in divine light within our systems, and we release. We take a second deep breath in. We call in the breath of life, motivation, passion, creation. Keep that in and release. For a third deep breath in, we call in the breath of love. So we anchor within our heart centers. We stay centered, grounded, and we release. Okay. Welcome. So I'm just going to first start speaking a little bit about what's been going on from an energetic, collective, and individual perspective with the ending of 2023 going into 2024. So this is from what I've channeled, from what I've been moving through, and what I've been seeing through my clients as well. So obviously with the ending of 2023, very big collective release. Even if you're not per se purposely wanting to release stuff, it's going to have happened anyway because you're picking up on a collective vibrational frequency, meaning a lot of people are clearing and releasing. It's probably going to happen on some level for you too. So the ways that it went is what I saw in my own personal experience. A lot of people gently and sometimes not so gently being removed from my peripheral, from my vibrational frequency field. Some of them not even actually allowed. And I saw that because I was traveling around and I flew back to Europe. I anchored into the European grid, which, by the way, guys, has raised its vibrational frequency a lot compared to last year. When I anchored into the European grid last year, I was in Milan and in Paris. I found it very dense. I found a lot of density. This year, I found it lighter. I don't know what's been going on that side. Whatever the light workers are doing, keep on doing, guys. It's working. Like the grid was raised. So really beautiful news, really beautiful thing to feel and pick up as I flew in the airport in the end of November, beginning of December. Okay, so yeah, people clearing, releasing from your life. And I mean, how many of you, I don't know, I don't think I can take questions here, but if I could, I would. And how many of you have kind of like, to an extent, felt the friction, the trigger, and have also almost dreaded going into, your family dinners and your family lunches going into Christmas, because now you've been working on yourself, you've been upgrading your system, you're operating on a baseline vibrational frequency that is higher from what it was last year, and you now need to regulate yourself, your nervous system, your somatic body as well on a physical level to be able to connect and see what's going on with everyone else, in your family that perhaps isn't on a similar journey or is operating from the 3D matrix structure. So Good to hear about Europe. Okay, nice. I'm seeing that I can see comments and people talk. Great, amazing, guys. Then if I am allowed to do this, I will leave a 10-minute space at the end for questions, because I do find I really love interacting with everyone that's on. And I do find collective questions very useful for everyone anyway. Okay, so that's kind of like one of the first things that, I was very aware of when I anchored into Europe. And then, and then in my own personal life, it was quite funny. Every time I fly back, I'm like, oh, like, who's going to be allowed in my grid? Hello from India, much love to you. Who am I going to be allowed to see? Who's going to be be able to connect with me? So paying attention to that. And also, guys, paying attention to, this is what they're telling me to say. Well done. Well done to everyone who got through the Christmas and the lunch dinners, who was triggered and who didn't react, and who was able to measure their own individual progress from where they were last year. If something that would have triggered you last year didn't trigger you this year, guys, you're doing amazing. Remember also, guys, the only constant is change. So it doesn't matter kind of like what's going on and navigating, you are still moving forward, even if you are moving backward. Once you start your ascension process, it's exponential. You can't go backwards. So get it out of your mind like, oh my God, I got triggered, I got angry, now I'm moving backwards. No, it's fine. You're still moving forward. You're still learning. There is no wrongs. There is really only lessons. Okay. So you do something, you react to something, you don't like it. It doesn't feel in alignment with the person that you are now. Next time, you're not going to do it again. You are learning from that. Okay. Yeah. So they're just going to be sending me through codes as I'm talking. So that's kind of like one of the first things that I saw. Very big collective work on releasing the scarcity template. So this is what's happening going into 2024. So number 8, it's the number of abundance. A lot of the scarcity templates are going to release. Obviously, guys, you need to want this. It's not just randomly going to fall out of the sky and all of a sudden you're going to be navigating into abundance. But what I can say to you guys that you can start doing on a very practical level is working with your boundaries. Boundaries go hand in hand with abundance. If you struggle with your boundaries, you have energetical leakages. If you're not firm in what it is that you believe and you say, and in setting your boundaries, you're going to struggle to be able to uphold and maintain an abundant container. Okay. Really, really important, guys. When you're saying no, boundaries are the highest form of self-love. You are only in control of your own actions, emotions, and words. You cannot control other people. So if you say no to someone and they get upset with you, that is not your problem. They cannot guilt tripping you into being like, oh, you made me upset. I am not making you anything. I am just setting a boundary. You are choosing to get upset, obviously within the realm of compassion, patience, and we always operating from the heart center, guys. But just understand then moving forward, if you want to anchor into abundance, you're going to really have to set your boundaries. And what I find that is really useful that I teach a lot of people is actually to overstep them and then take them down a bit. If you struggle, if you feel like you have energetic leakages, if you feel like you're getting psychically attacked, if you feel like you can't say no, if you feel like you have the people-pleasing program, if you feel like, you need to kind of work on that, then overstep them, okay? And then take them down. It's going to be easier than you being here and trying to get here, because you're not going to be sure where you're going, and if you're coming, if you're going, and to what extent. So rather like overstep them and put them more. So really, really important. 2024 abundance, scarcity templates releasing. I mean, I know exactly when mine started releasing back in 2020 with the pandemic and everything, but it only was able to fully release about 2 years ago. I don't know exactly when that happened. And it's very funny because that happened when we actually had theft. We had a burglary and something happen, and really, really, really important ancestral talismans were removed from my life. And I was like, and then I was told, no, this needed to be removed for you to anchor into further abundance moving forward. And it needed to be cleared and released from an ancestral lineage and perspective. And that's the next thing I'm going to link onto and speak about. Okay. Ancestral, matriarchal, patriarchal clearing. So much of that has been going on. Woman, if your bleed is more intense or all over the place, it's because we are all clearing, even the men, but we are all clearing through our womb, through our sacral on a collective level for Mother Gaia. There is a huge, huge, huge release that is happening within the womb space, within the womb healing, from the matriarchal lineage and family line. So very, very important to just be mindful and aware of that. If you are struggling even with like cramps or things like that, we are all clearing through the womb. Men have an energetic womb, they've all got a sacral chakra, so they're clearing there as well. They might be clearing for their mothers, you know what I mean? A lot of family contracts are getting dismantled and have been dismantled with the end of 2023 and accessing 2024. So it's quite interesting. Some of you had parents or family members and you actually ended up seeing them and you didn't think you were going to. It's almost like you had like a family dinner or a lunch and like all of a sudden like that uncle that never pitched up. That's because there needed to be some kind of dismantling and karmic connection cleared between the two of you or between him and someone else and her and someone else. So being mindful and aware that this is going to carry on into February. January and February. So we are kind of like still anchoring the November, December energy within the year of 2024. The year is going to fully anchor at the beginning of April. That is the start of the astrological new year. So until then, it'll dissipate a lot more. And like March will probably still be fine. January and February, you'll still be clearing energetically from what's been happening in December. So the scarcity template, the letting go, the releasing, the working on releasing all any attachments, and all this really, really big and important family stuff, okay? Ascension symptoms. Okay, where do I start? You might be having difficulty eating, or you might be finding that your eating habits are shifting. You might also be finding, guys, that you, especially women, but even the men, all of a sudden, the last 2-3 months, you've put on weight, and there's no actual logical explanation for you to have done that. Because the baseline vibrational frequency of the planet is rising, a lot of us are struggling, and I speak for myself as well, to stay grounded. So what happens is the system will put on a physical level, lower middle part of the body, to help you stay more grounded, more present, more embodied. So that'll dissipate itself when it kind of like when the grid re-anchors. So do more grounding, listen to frequencies that assist with grounding as well. So Fidget frequencies 369 is really good. They're all on YouTube. You can even play them overnight in your sleep and it's going to help within your system. Okay. The astral space has also been really intense. I find that generally what happens is when you're clearing on a physical, the astral tends to quieten down. Sorry, guys. The astral tends to quieten down. However, what we had, especially in the beginning and in the first 2 weeks now of January, very, very intense astral space. Your dream space will be very active. Even if you're not remembering it, you're probably doing a lot of work. If you're waking up tired, it's because you're navigating the astral space. We are all now operating a lot more on a multidimensional level. This means that more aspects and parts of you are being integrated. More aspects and part of you are operating out there. So a really, 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 really beautiful work that I did recently with a friend of mine a few days ago was just of making sure that I'm gridded and anchored in and connected to all my multidimensional parts of self. So this is what they're saying to me now. The reason why you might be struggling with this is because as we anchored now into 2024, all this stuff that's releasing, it's releasing so that it can make space for you to be able to integrate the soul fragments and do soul fragment retrieval to become and start operating on a more multidimensional level within the 3D structure. You're already operating multidimensionally in the 4D and the 5D. You now want to operate multidimensionally on the 3D, which means you want to be able to do a lot of things all at the same time and do them properly. No, I'm joking, but you kind of get what I mean, okay? So really important astral space, apocalyptic timelines clearing as well. If you're finding yourself in wars with like dragons and fire and solar flares and earthquakes and tornadoes and volcanoes, it's not necessarily that that's going to happen. This is the problem. A lot of light channelers and workers are like, oh my God, I saw an earthquake. The world is going to earthquake. No, Most of the time, in fact, guys, 90% of the time, it's apocalyptic timelines that are being cleared. What does this mean? It means that a whole bunch of us energy workers get together in the astral, anchor into this timeline, clear it so that it doesn't happen within the timeline that we are on now. Okay, so I find that there's specific months where more apocalyptic timelines are being cleared. January is generally one of them, end of December as well. And then there's times when not necessarily. So for me, when I operate in the astral and on that level, I'll generally see a few other energy workers. Sometimes it's 100, sometimes it's 10, sometimes it's 7 or 8. So most of you that are here are also doing this type of work, even if you're not consciously aware of it. What you can do is before going to sleep, set the intention to ask your guides if you can remember this, or even ask your guides like for guidance or questions or things like that. The astral space is a very powerful space where you can connect to other beings and to your spirit guides. The more specific the question, the easier it's going to be for them to come to you and answer it. Okay. Okay, something else that's going to happen this year is, guys, get ready for it because star seeds are going to go even more mainstream. Okay, it's going to be a huge year for those of us who are already on a public platform and speaking. We are going to grow exponentially, and this is why you need your boundaries set, and this is why you need to know when to say no, because if you're going to struggle with that, you're going to get thrown out there and you're not going to know if you're coming or going, and you're going to really struggle to hold your own, and people are going to step on you. So if you are in this line of work and you are helping, assisting, and whatnot, or if you want to get into it, this is the year. As I said, it's the year of abundance as well. For things to click into place and to be in order, please do the boundary work and release that as well, okay? So funny, guys. I'm in a place, this is in my house where I'm in, and I just picked a random mug. And for today, it said breathe. I do find that sometimes it's because of the multidimensional level that I operate on. Sometimes it's almost like my own brain can't keep up with itself. It's quite interesting. Like it's working up there, but then for me to relay it here, it needs to, come out in a specific way. So I find that sometimes breathing helps. Anyway, yeah. So this brings me to the next thing. Okay, so star seeds more mainstream. I'm not really allowed to say too much of that just yet. Yeah, but if you go on my Instagram and you follow me, I do lives every week. So in the next maybe like month or so, I'm going to expand and speak a little bit more about this. But just know that this is a beautiful year that we're anchoring in, okay? Collective memory upgrade. This is what's happening as well. Lots of codes of memory are coming through. Lots of remembrance codes are going to be coming through as well on an individual and on a collective level. So we're all going to be remembering a lot of stuff. Again, your system needs to be ready, prepared, and open to be able to kind of like integrate the information, understand it, clear it and release it, and then let it go. We are, and I've said this before, I will say it again, we are clearing Atlantean karma and we are clearing Atlantean timelines as well a lot, and it's going to happen more and more and more. How do we know this? Because we are in a phase where we are learning to integrate and work with technology within a high vibrational frequency space. What does this mean? I've seen this in my own business, in my own life. The frequency itself of what could be your Instagram, your Facebook, your TikTok, whatever. I mean, I can't really speak that much with regards to TikTok because it's shifting a lot, but I can speak very firmly with regards to Instagram, its algorithm and how it works. 3-4 years ago, I mean, I was channeling light language. I don't think there were that many up there. It's grown exponentially now, and I'm finding that the more that people are posting light language with intention, with heart-centered compassion, people and channelers who are in merged twin union with source consciousness, so are operating from that space of unconditional love, the message is getting seen, the message is getting heard, the message is getting out there. Okay, so what we are here to do, while a lot of people are struggling with fear when it comes to AI and technology, it's because they are recollecting and clearing what happened in ancient Atlantis and in Atlantean timelines. So on a subconscious level, they're like, oh no, oh my God, the tech is going to take over. It's done it before. Guys, no, we have already entered the lower tiers of fourth dimensional positively polarized density, entering the ascension process. So it's not, we can't go back. Okay. The way we get to, I mean, and also it's not like getting to anywhere, like it's a process, a journey, you know. But nothing that we kind of can do is going to stop it. So I think, yeah, I think, okay, just be mindful and aware. So just want me to add this in, of anyone or anything spreading fear and division, separation. And, you know, if it feels off, guys, it's going to be off, you know, it's off. And what's off for you might not be off for someone else and whatnot. We're different individuals navigating different experiences. But I think if you're in doubt, with what to believe, with what to listen to, with what to see, always tune into the heart. I find that sometimes the problem is a lot of people tend to bypass, they channel directly from here, but this is where we need to be operating from. Okay, guys. So yeah, memory upgrade, codes of remembrance as well. So what's actually happening, this has been going on for about 2 years now, but it's going to be more and more this year. Your memory, as you start integrating multidimensional aspects and parts of self, your memory is expanding beyond what would be your third dimensional density body. Obviously, you've got a light body, you've got an etheric body, you've got an energy body, you've got all these different bodies in a multidimensional aspect, and they've all got memory within them, okay? So you're now starting to integrate more parts of that. What does this mean? You're going to feel like, oh, I can't remember what I had for dinner yesterday, but I can remember what my grandmother told me when I was 3.5 years old. That's okay. I mean, mine took 6 months to a year to adjust properly. And still now what happens is when you start downloading information and channeling, and everyone can channel, guys. I'm not special. Anyone can channel. It's just a muscle. The more you do it, the better you get at it. Anyone can be psychic. Anyone can speak to ET beings. Anyone can, channel and teach and whatnot. Like, it's just, anyone can do it. Okay. So as I said, it's a muscle. It's like, I don't know, playing soccer, the more you play it, the better you get at it. You're an artist, the more you draw, the better you get at it. Some people start kind of like already more present into that because they've done it for many lifetimes, like my case, but anyone can do it if they want to, okay? So having said that, with the memory, what happens is you start storing stuff that you're not going to need that much in your, it sounds like in your, I don't want to say galactic, but in your multidimensional memory construct, okay? So you're not going to be like remembering what you had for lunch yesterday because that's not useful for you at that moment in time. And what you're going to start doing is you're starting to download all these codes and all this information and all these key concepts that have to do with sacred geometry, the quantum realm, beyond the space and time. And I'm going to speak a little bit about how to control time because I think this is a very useful tool that you guys can use in your own life and experience. So as you start doing that, obviously, like, that's going to be more important than what you cooked your husband or wife for dinner a few days ago. Okay. So you have to make space to be able to integrate that. It's all then gets stored kind of like on this quantum memory sort of thing. Again, guys, please understand, I don't have any background training in physics, quantum physics, maths, or anything like that. All that I know, all that I understand is what I have channeled within my life. Yes, like, I'm smart and I've got good memory, but I don't have any bases in training in any kind of like physics or things like that, so sometimes the way that I explain things is just kind of like how I process them and how my own aspect of them. I mean, listen, I might have done this, I don't know, I might have been a physicist or whatever in other lifetimes, I don't know. I haven't, maybe I should actually channel that. Okay, let me make a note. So I'm just going to speak a little bit about time, and this is something very interesting that I've been working with within the past few years. I held a workshop on this. When was this? I think on the 11/11 portal. Yes, in November. Held a workshop on this in November. And okay, so the concept of time is only linear and third dimensional density. Right now, we have the 3D and the 4D overlap. I mean, they're all overlapping, but the 3D and the 4D are the kind of like what's most overlapping. Okay, so I'm just going to briefly explain this just for the sake of understanding the concepts of dimensional densities. I'm not going to go into soul density, but that's something different. So your soul density is separated from the dimensional density that you operate in. They're connected, but they're different. Okay. So in your 3D, you have the limitations of time and space. Time and space are linear. Time is kind of like counted, and then you need to walk to space and whatnot. In your 4D, your time construct is fluid. Okay. You can manifest anything instantly, but you still need to walk and fly to places. In your 5D, there's no limitation of space and time, which is your quantum realm where you operate if you're channeling light language. I mean, even if you're doing Reiki and universal energy and things like that. This is why I can channel here and you guys can receive wherever you are in the world, because it goes beyond the time and space concepts. And I'm going to, how am I doing on time? Okay, I'm still quite good. And I'm going to speak a little bit also about how the light language works before I do a transmission for you guys, okay? So what can you do to have time assist you to anchor into the highest of alignments and timelines? You can learn how to stretch time and bend time and operate beyond the concept of time. So I'm going to give you practical life examples that have happened to me and that probably have happened to you guys as well. You're just not consciously aware of it yet. You will be after you've listened to this, okay? So, this was about, I think, 2021. I was flying. Oh, and by the way, guys, like brackets, I find for me personally, when I'm flying, my channel and the way I operate is more clear. And I didn't understand this. Like my human mind was like, oh, because I'm closer to the spaceships, I'm higher up and whatnot. And then they were like, no, it's because there's less clutter, because there's less people up there. So there's less clutter. When I'm, embodied here on Earth, there's like, I don't know how many, I think 8 billion people, something like that, all with their thoughts and emotions and things. When you're up there, there's a lot less of them. So it makes sense. So anyway, so I was flying and I was pulling through some codes. I was channeling, I was writing some light language. I don't even know if it was 2020 maybe, anyway. And I looked at it was about a 2-hour flight, and I looked at my watch and I remember it was 3:01. So I said, okay. So I sat down and I started writing. I mean, I must have written maybe like 8 or 9 pages of code. And at the time, I didn't write code as quickly as I do now. Like I was channeling, but not as quickly, And I'm talking about like, it wasn't like A4 pages. I think it was A5 pages. So those little booklets. Anyway, I thought it was maybe like 20 minutes, half an hour. It wasn't my watch, it was my phone. I don't really wear a watch because of this exact time concept that I'm explaining. I look at my phone and it's 3:03, 2 minutes have passed. And I was like, okay. And I was like, and I literally, guys, I looked around to see like the plane was half empty. But my first instinct was to look around like, are people seeing this? Like, what is going on, So then when I tuned in, they explained to me that at that moment in time, because I was channeling code, that code needed to come through. And the way I pulled it through, it's almost like I stretched the time and made it slower. Okay, another example that I'm going to give you guys, and this is even more practical. This is a day-to-day example, okay? So let's say that I need to take my child to school every morning. She needs to be there by 8 o'clock, okay? Example, okay? The time it takes for me to get from home to the school, example, is like 20 minutes, okay? So, I don't know, traffic, whatever, considering to be there on time, I would have to leave at 20 to 8 or earlier, okay? There are times where I left at, guys, like I'm not joking, at like 7 minutes to 8, and I still got there at 8. And I didn't understand. I mean, the way that I operated was because I know that your own system is a perfect quantum co-creating machine. You can co-create what you want. So I always have the innate knowing and understanding of that. So what I would do is I'd be like, well, I'm not going to be late. Like, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to be late. Like, I'm just not going to be late. And I'm never late, and I was never late. And then when I sat to channel the time workshop, they said, it's time, sit, speak about this concept, explain people how to use it to the best of their ability. I was told that I was with the power of my mind. Because I was operating on these multidimensional levels, I was stretching the time. I was almost making it slower. So you can literally, guys, you can do it with your intention. You can do it. I find that there's a lot of almost like structures that keep people locked in time. One of them would be you're waking up in the morning and having to watch the news. I mean, okay, I doubt that anyone who's here right now watches the news, but you know what I'm saying, or saying things like, oh, I need my coffee to wake up. Now you're programming yourself that you need the coffee to wake up in the morning. And that's it's anchoring you in a timeline. Okay. You want to be able to be fluid. Why? Because if you are in fluid time, you can co-create your reality. They all exist. All the timelines exist. The timeline where you're abundant, you are happily married, you have the dream job, you have the dream house, you have the dream life. It all exists. You just need to anchor the frequency of it. You need to anchor within the frequency of it. You need to align with it. Okay. So to be able to do that, you need to start operating beyond the constraints of time. So how do you do that? Again, you need to work on deprogramming. You need to boundaries really help, releasing attachments, letting go of what doesn't serve you. So the time concept to me is something really interesting. It's something really, really useful that I've been kind of like playing around and working with. So yeah, it goes back to remembering who you are, remembering your power, remembering you are an infinite being of light and co-creator of your reality and multifaceted, and you can really anchor and co-create anything that it is that you want within your life. So yeah, I'll add one or two other things before I pull through some codes. Remember, everything needs to rise together: the mental, the physical, the spiritual, the emotional. You can't meditate 12 hours a day and then eat shitty food. Sorry for swearing. You can't, other side, exercise like extensive hours in a day and then not be connected to yourself, not be connected to your heart center, not be in touch with your emotions. Okay. So I think moving into this year, it is a year of embodiment. It's a year of remembering your power. It's a year of learning how to navigate this reality to the best of your ability, to a way that's serving to your advantage on a collective level. Okay. And it's not going to work if it's for ego. Like if you're sitting here and trying to manifest a Ferrari because you want to make your neighbor jealous, it's not going to work. There is something that I like to call the twin union with source consciousness. I cannot personally say when it happened for me. Probably it was somewhere around 2019, 2020. There is a point in everyone's life, or energy worker, or anyone who is in this line of work on this journey, where you come into a conscious understanding and a conscious activation and a conscious degree of frequency of heart chakra opening, where you merge back with source consciousness and you now operate from a level of unconditional love. It's not about you, it's about the collective. You operate on a level where you as the individual take a back seat and you start operating on a collective level down to what it is that you're putting in your body for breakfast and how you are responding to the person that is, I don't know, painting the parking meter next to you. Okay. So another thing, I explain how to get there. Release attachments, stay in trust, surrender, be gentle towards yourselves. It's a journey. Enjoy it. It's a beautiful journey. Don't resist, okay? Don't try. If it's not working, it's not for your highest alignment, okay? So I think that releasing attachment, especially to expectation, is one of the hardest ones. There are also healthy attachments that you can have, but that's for another workshop. With regards to me, before I go into light language, I just want to let everyone know that if they want to find me, my website is, I think they'll leave my links below. I think this is being live streamed anyway, but it's my name, Althea Lucrezia, AltheaLucrezia.com. My Instagram is Light Codes by ALA. I do offer one-on-one activations and sessions. I will offer programs, 6 weeks, 6 months. I teach people to do what I do. I train channelers. I train energy workers in whatever technique and niche is good for you. I don't train you to be like me. I teach you to be like you. I teach you to bring out whatever gift it is or gifts it is that you need to offer the world. If you want to do what I do, great. I can teach you to do that as well. But most of the time, if it's different for everyone. Okay. So, yeah, so I take people through that. I've got a lot of workshops on my website: how to counteract and neutralize psychic attacks, how to open and activate your third eye, the time workshop. I've got a Metatronic grid activation as well, working with the archangelics and the number 4. I've got abundance workshop as well, how to co-create your abundance. I will be launching an abundance mentorship, but that's only in August. If you want to connect with me in person, I am going to be speaking at the Conscious Life Expo in Los Angeles at the LAX Hilton in February. Everything is on my website. And then I'm also holding an in-person workshop in New York City on the 24/02/2024. I've recently just opened a Miami date as well on the 02 March, 2nd of March. That one is on the 2nd of March. So I'll be in the States from the end of, from the first week of February. I am also taking one-on-one in person in Los Angeles and in New York and in Miami. So if that is what you want, you're going to have to either send me a DM or contact me through my website. I am almost fully booked, but I do have a few spaces and slots left for that as well. Yeah, I think that's about it. Like, I offer a lot of stuff. I do timeline clearing, Akashic clearing, light language activations. I do kind of like coaching. I'll do clearing, releasing, reprogramming, deprogramming, blueprint activation, implant removal. So I do a whole bunch of stuff, guys. Really, whatever you want to know and ask, you can come to me. I mean, if you want to, like, I don't really do mediumship, but sometimes people want, like me to do mediumship. So I can do that as well. It's not really like my main thing, but I can do that as well. So yeah. So I think that's it. I'm going to pull through some codes. Yeah, I had quite a lot of other stuff here I'm going to speak about, but it is what it is. What is needed now is coming through. So I want you guys to just close your eyes and anchor into your bodies as you find a comfortable breathing rhythm. With every inhale, you breathe in light. And with every exhale, you let go of all that doesn't serve you anymore. As we call on the Archangelic Collective, Michael to the south, Uriel to the north, Raphael to the east, and Gabriel to the west, we call on Archangel Metatron with his blue cloak of protection from above and Son of One to seal the grid from below. As we call on our higher selves, our spirit guides, anyone else who wishes to be present for the greatest and highest good, you're welcome in the space. Opening systems. Trana reatrea kie kumrase orokoto koro ishie. Taya tara kreate kasukut kuraya nara ia sierra takra isira takra. Yeah, so these codes are going to help you guys just with being present, embodying Ntakurokoro ishira isirat, and activating as you navigate, move through and into 2024. Clearing, releasing, letting go, decoding, removing, detangling, expanding into more light, divine rays, anchoring into systems, blueprint structure, activating, activating, opening, third eye, tuning, more light, divine rays, rayataka, treaki, kumra, na, yasiro, kokoro, ishira, yataka, kikura, kiki, roko, yasira, takra, takria, shira, tare, trakiera, taka, koroisia, Anayatekarasha, opening, expanding. It is time to open, expand the heart, step into Yatokoro Iya Shirataka Arya Isirate Taka Isharokoro Iya Senaro Kukuma Iya Ishira Iya Sirata. This will also help with the ancestral clearing Kikoro Katkarai Sinayata. Taina Reatrika Korokota Iya Shirayata. Triatare Akie Kumrasi Tokoria Triana Ratriata Kia Iya Ishetaka. Nayo Rokoi Seraitie. Trea nara karia creo kuka kria ishirayata. Tieta rei creo kukara isie kara kriate kumara isirataka. Tre nai are attuning systems to more light, divine rays, anchoring. Okay, I have the angelic realms coming in, attuning. Yo, 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 narati sarakira takara. More light, divine rays, anchor rays, rainbow rays, platinum white light, silver rays, attuning systems, activating, opening blueprint structure, heart expansion into more light, divine rays. Trayataka ishirayata, tainataka creatre ukumrase kurokotia ishirayata, triatrek kurasi naraya ishirayataka, crea ishira, releasing, letting go of self-judgment. Yo, this is a big one. It is time to let go, to be more present into the body, being more present into the body, being more present into the now, into the moment. We anchor. We are grateful to be here, to anchor into this new world, into this new life, into this new structure of earth that is being integrated now within your systems. You can expect big openings within the heart, within your lives, within your career paths. Nta ia sietaka rea inchaya sie ukumai siara triatiak ni sietaka nai sietaka. It is time for you to let go as you are more present within the now. You are learning to expand, to open and blossom like flowers. You are walking with the power of many lifetimes behind you, many ancestors assisting you. Big teams are present with you all the time. Please call on them, call on us. Ndaya ishie sasara yatukuma ishira isietaka triata kiarate ianishie sasasa sara ya ishira yataka ya ishira tekera ya sirate kura. You call on your ascension councils yatukuma aria ya ishie sasara yataka riatre akikuma isira yataka nda riatara. It is time to trust more into the heart. Open up more, opening. Ya kuruhana ishe sara isira takarra isira takarra kukuku ishira siena takana ishina taka ntara ishira sira tokoro ukara isira. A lot of you are going to receive activations in your sleep tonight as well. Ntakara sia teka kokoro inchara sia taka rea tekara. Please remember to hydrate and drink lots of water. Nkara ya retreka no chira taka sira satata ishina taka ndriana takarra ratsia tukumra sira takra yeshira. Thank you. Kiyo nara yashena sieta ka kriata reatre kukuro ishena ta yatre akira takaria sira taka kukuro ishira yataka. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of you are going to activate nuclear audience. Kia kukuro ishena siena takarata kukuno ishena si sara ishira taka. Okay, ntishukuku ishena taka ishira takaratra yasira taka. Okay, you can gently come back and ground and anchor into the body. You can't see it, but I'm actually sweating, guys. And there's always a lot of beings when I do these talks that it's quite funny. It's the same when I go live. It's almost like they all want to come in. They all want to come in. They all want to speak. And I'm like, this is just me operating from my human self. Like, guys, it's one body. Anyway, so go follow me and go check my website. You're welcome. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I love you. I see you. I appreciate you. From my heart to yours. Yeah.